Your life is not a programming error. It is simply running on an outdated operating system. An operating system that was installed years ago, filled with old lines of code about procrastination, fear, and wasting time on meaningless things. And you can feel it. You feel the stagnation, the loss of control, the sense that your potential is being held back by something invisible. In this video, I will give you 7 patches, 7 habits, designed to rewrite the core code in your thinking and actions. These are not big, dramatic changes. They are small and precise adjustments, but they will completely transform your daily performance. Pay attention. Habit number 6 will literally make you look up, forcing you to recalibrate your entire perspective on success and failure. Watch this video until the end to install the 7 keys to your upgraded self. We live in an age of advanced technology, where information is always available, yet we feel more lost than ever. The problem isn't a lack of motivation, it's the absence of a clear operating system within you. Real change comes from the actions you repeat every day, your habits. So, if you could install 7 patches to upgrade the operating system of your life, where would you begin? Let's start with the first one. Habit 1. Never miss twice. This rule, popularized by James Clear in Atomic Habits, is a safety mechanism against the collapse of discipline. It acknowledges an important truth: you are not perfect. There will be bad days, days when you skip the gym, miss a language session, or don't read a single page. That doesn't define you. When you miss a day, your only job is this: don't let it become 2 in a row. Did you skip your workout today? That's fine. Tomorrow, you must show up, even if it's just to walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes. The goal isn't a perfect performance, but the act of maintaining momentum. This builds something far stronger than discipline: resilience. It prevents the domino effect where one small mistake turns into guilt, and guilt turns into giving up. You are rewriting your identity, not into someone flawless, but into someone who never quits. Habit 2. Control your phone. Control your life. In life, your most valuable asset is focus, and the biggest thief of it is the phone in your pocket. Controlling your phone isn't just about setting screen time limits. It's about reclaiming ownership of your time, the priceless resource you lose a little more of every single day. Open the screen time feature on your phone and look at the number. If you waste 3 to 4 hours a day, that's an entire month of your life each year spent watching things that add no real value. But the moment you realize it is the moment change begins. Instead of staying up late scrolling through TikTok, you'll choose to sleep earlier, read a few pages of a book, or learn a new skill. Because reclaiming your time is the greatest return on investment you can ever create for your life. Habit 3. Teach to remember. Learning something once doesn't mean you've understood it. That's only information consumption. To turn information into true knowledge, you must integrate it. The deepest learning method used by Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman is to teach it to others. After you finish reading a chapter, watching a lecture, or learning a new skill, stop for a moment. Find a quiet space and explain that concept in the simplest words possible. Talk to the wall, record yourself, or explain it to someone with no background in the subject. If you can't explain it simply, you don't truly understand it. This process forces your brain to struggle with the information, organize it logically, and identify exactly where the gaps in your understanding lie. You move from a vague state of knowing to a deep state of understanding. That is the difference between someone who can merely repeat information and someone who can apply it to solve real problems. Habit 4. Attach new habits to old ones. According to research by B.J. Fogg at Stanford University, the most effective way to build a new habit isn't through willpower, but by linking it to an existing one. Your brain operates through neural highways, pathways built by repeated actions over time. Instead of trying to carve out a brand new road, you can simply add a small turnoff from a familiar one. For example, if you already have the habit of making coffee every morning, attach a new action right after it. After I make my coffee, I will meditate for 2 minutes. This connection helps your brain easily recognize the cue and automatically trigger the new behavior. Neuroscientists call this the Hebbian principle. Neurons that fire together wire together. When two actions are repeated closely together, they form a new link in your brain and gradually become a natural reflex. By leveraging the power of habits that already exist and redesign your environment and behavior sequence, that's the sustainable way to turn small changes into a natural part of your life. Habit 5. Set traps for your future self. You're not lazy. You're just living in a system designed to keep you distracted. Everything around you, from your phone and your fridge to the Netflix screen, is programmed to capture your attention. Smart people don't try to resist temptation through discipline. They redesign their environment so temptation never has a chance to appear. Be the architect of your behavior. Want to read more? Put the book on your pillow right where you'll see it. Want to eat healthier? Don't keep junk food in your house. When you make the right thing easy and the wrong thing inconvenient, your brain will naturally choose the path of least resistance, and that's the path to progress. True discipline doesn't come from brute willpower. It comes from cleverly setting traps for your future self. Habit 6. Recalibrate your perspective. When astronauts view Earth from space, many of them experience a profound shift in awareness known as the overview effect. From afar, borders disappear, conflicts seem insignificant. They realize they are just a tiny part of something infinitely greater, a single planet floating in the vastness of the universe. You don't need to go into orbit to feel this. You can create your own small version of the overview effect right here on Earth. At least once a week, in the evening, step outside, look up at the sky for a few minutes. Think about this. The light from some of the stars you see may have begun its journey thousands or even millions of years ago, long before humankind existed. The universe is about 13.8 billion years old, and you are living in a tiny moment of that grand timeline. When you hold that perspective, everything, a delayed project, a bad investment, etc., begins to feel smaller. They don't disappear, but their weight shifts. Because when your mind is pulled away from the small self and toward the bigger picture, something powerful happens, a sense of awe. Science has shown that this emotion reduces stress, enhances creativity, and deepens your connection to the present moment. This is a strategic reset button for your mind. Habit 7. Act without expecting results. In the Bhagavad Gita, the philosophy of Karma Yoga teaches, you have the right to your actions, but not to the fruits of your actions. This doesn't mean you should ignore results. It means shifting your focus from rewards to the process, from the obsession with gain or loss to the joy of doing what is right. Research in neuropsychology shows that when you focus on the process rather than the outcome, your brain experiences less stress, maintains energy longer, and performs more creatively. True satisfaction comes from the feeling of progress, not just from reaching the destination. When you act without clinging to the reward, you free yourself from the fear of failure and the exhaustion of perfectionism. You still set goals, but you don't let them control your emotions. You still strive for success, but you don't let success define your worth. That is the mindset of mastery, of someone who finds meaning in every step, not just at the finish line. You don't need grand actions to create an extraordinary life. All it takes are the right lines of code, the good habits precisely installed into the operating system within you. Even the smallest step you take today, no matter how insignificant it seems, is quietly rewriting the source code of your life. One day, you'll look back and realize it was those tiny steps that took you to places you once thought impossible. You don't have to remember all 7 habits. Just one idea that makes you stop and think is the first command in upgrading yourself. Pick one habit. Commit to trying it tomorrow. And if you want, leave a comment. I'll start with habit number, as a personal contract with yourself. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next chapters of our growth journey together.